I will call this meeting of the Mooresville Graded School District Board of Education to order. And you may have noticed that I am not Greg Whitfield. He is not with us this evening, so I am pitch hitting for him. I would like to start by honoring, I guess, the tradition that was established several boards ago of sharing some little inspiration or tidbit. And being a former social studies teacher, I'll give you a little history. Our founding fathers, John Adams, the second president of the United States, and Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, were political enemies. So much so that some people have characterized them as being on the exact polar opposites of the political spectrum. But there was one thing that they agreed on, and that was that public education for all was the cornerstone of the new democracy and its future. So let's keep that in mind and always support our public schools. And now if we could have a moment of silence. Thank you. And Dr. Garner, we are ready for the Pledge of Allegiance.
All right, we have several students that are going to lead our Pledge of Allegiance today, so I'd like to call the following students up: Jacoby Alexander, Griffin Clark, Cameron Hayes, Abigail Stahl, and Ryan Wigder.
Everyone will please stand.
Okay. Yep. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes, take your bow, absolutely. Okay, members of the board, you've had an opportunity to review the agenda. I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as published.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the agenda as published, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carries. You've also had an opportunity to approve the minutes for the March 18th meeting. Are there any additions, corrections to the minutes? Then I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes as published.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. And now our students of the month.
All right, good evening. Our students of the month and pledge leaders tonight, which you just saw them, are first grade students from Parkview Elementary, so I'd like to call them back up to the stage at this time. Jacoby Alexander, Griffin Clark, Cameron Hayes, Abigail Stahl, and Ryan Wigder. Let's give them a round of applause. All right, so you guys hang tight there. I'm going to read a little bit about why you were nominated to be Student of the Month, okay? So you guys can just stand there and smile, all right? These students were selected by Miss DeFrancisco, first grade teacher at Parkview Elementary, as well as the administrative team at Parkview Elementary. And here's a little bit about what they shared about this group of students. These first grade students have consistently demonstrated what it means to be safe, respectful, responsible, and kind. Their enthusiasm for learning American Sign Language has created a more inclusive and welcoming classroom where every student feels valued and supported. You can see their kindness in the way they help their classmates, they treat each other with respect, and they do their part to keep our classroom make our classroom a great place to learn. Their dedication to inclusion and love for learning inspires those around them and shows just how powerful kindness and teamwork can be. Their efforts are truly appreciated and show that even small actions have big impacts. It's inspiring to see their dedication to making our classroom and our school a welcoming and supportive place for everyone. Please join me in giving a round of applause to our Students of the Month for April 2025.
I was told to use the mic so everyone can hear me. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, the Mooresville Graded School District Board of Education recognized Jacoby Alexander, Parkview Elementary School, as the Student of the Month for leading the Pledge of Allegiance. I do have one for everybody. So, Jacoby, here you go. The Mooresville Graded... Everybody wants to hear their name called, so I'll read everybody's. The Mooresville Graded School District Board of Education recognizes Griffin Clark, Parkview Elementary School, as the Student of the Month and leading the Pledge of Allegiance. The Mooresville Graded School District Board of Education recognizes Cameron Hayes, Parkview Elementary School, as the Student of the Month, leading the Pledge of Allegiance. The Mooresville Graded School District Board of Education recognizes Abigail Stahl, Parkview Elementary School, as the Student of the Month and leading the Pledge of Allegiance.
I don't think he was able to be here.
But we would. Thank you. Thank you. Yep. So as we heard, Ryan has a fever, but we do have one.
You guys want that? All right, tonight we also have the honor of recognizing an Artist of the Month, Princeton Katambala, student at Parkview Elementary. So at this time, I'd like to ask Princeton to come up to the front. Princeton was nominated by Ms. Jones, his art teacher at Parkview Elementary, and here's a little bit about what she shared about Princeton. Princeton is a joy to have in art class. Besides being artistically talented, he's a great example of a Parkview patriot by being very kind, respectful, and responsible. Princeton's artworks being showcased this month is a still life collage of apples. By creating this artwork, Princeton, along with his fellow kindergarten students, learned the definition of a still life collage. They also learned what primary colors are and how to mix their paints to create secondary colors. Additionally, by learning how to use oil pastels, what highlights are, and how to create the visual shiny effect on the apples. Ultimately, students learn the elements of art as well as how to use the principles of art such as balance, unity, and variety. As Princeton's art teacher, I'm very proud of his artistic abilities and his accomplishments in earning this title of MGSD Artist of the Month. I hope that he continues to use his artistic talent to create art throughout his life. Please join me in congratulating Princeton as our Artist of the Month for April 2025.
So we have an award for Princeton as well. The Mooresville Graded School District Board of Education recognizes Princeton, Cantabala, Parkview Elementary School as the Artist of the Month. Board of Education meeting April 8th, 2025. Congratulations.
All right, each month we also have the honor of recognizing a district employee who goes above and beyond in demonstrating a core value of our district. This month we recognize Missy Foley, Data Manager at Parkview Elementary. So at this time I'd like to ask Ms. Foley to come up to the front. Ms. Foley was nominated by the Parkview administrative team, and here's a little bit about what they shared about her. Ms. Foley is the data manager at Parkview Elementary School. She's been a part of the Mooresville Graded School District for over 20 years, and in that time, she's made a lasting impact on countless families in the Parkview community. She welcomes new families with warmth and kindness, making sure they feel right at home from day one. Ms. Foley is also a person you want in your corner when challenges arise. She's quick to gather the right people, offer reassurance, and always puts families first. Ms. Foley is dedicated to doing her best work. She keeps everything organized, accurate, and running smoothly. But what really sets her apart is her willingness to step in wherever she's needed. Whether it's helping with bus duty, jumping into the daily chaos of a busy school, or just simply anticipating what her teammates need before they even ask, she's always willing to lend a helping hand. Her support, kindness, and commitment make a difference every single day. We are so grateful for everything she does. Please join me in congratulating Missy Foley, our ABCD Award winner for April 2025.
Gotta jump to my microphone. Thank you for what you do, first of all. The Mooresville Graded School District recognizes Missy Foley for going above and beyond the call of duty, April 2025. And we recognize you today, and then we thank you for all you do throughout the Parkview Elementary School. Thank you.
All right, next we have our school highlights. So we will have Dr. Rogers, principal of Parkview Elementary, coming up front, and we will be talking about Excited About iReady Math.
Okay, good evening, Dr. Marsh, Dr. Gardner, and members of the board. Oh, goodness, now there's a lot of things to keep up with here. Okay, so normally we would kind of connect everything to our school improvement plan, and so we are kind of veering slightly from that this evening with the permission of Dr. Royal and Dr. Gardner, so we absolutely appreciate them allowing us to kind of shift that focus a little bit. So just like we do review our school improvement plans and update our scoreboards, our PLCs actually have core data reviews at our beginning of year and middle of year reviews, and we discuss our literacy and our math data. And our teams set goals, and they select a strategy that they will commit to in order to reach those goals that they've set. So what we're going to look at this evening is iReady. Are you ready? We're getting our students and staff excited about using iReady Math, which is a program that we've implemented this year at the K-2 level. So I've got my fabulous instructional coach here, Allison Granger, and so we can't do a lot of the things that we do, but we're very appreciative to have this support in our schools every day. This is something I didn't have in other districts, so knowing that we have an instructional coach who's able to get in our classrooms and support our teachers, able to go into our PLC meetings, and also support the administrative staff. We're very grateful for this opportunity to have our instructional coach. So, without further ado, I'll hit the button for you.
Good evening, everyone. So as Dr. Rogers was saying, we implemented iReady this year, and K-2 schools, our 3-5 schools, were using it, so it was new to us for K-2. And at the beginning of the year, we just started off at our opening staff meeting. Our main goal was for our staff to know what the program was, how to log the kids in, and get through the BOI diagnostic. Those were like 3 main steps that we started out with as a district. And then after that, we had a district-wide PD in September, and Ms. Conley had an iReady rep there that teachers met with to help interpret that beginning of the year data. So we did that on the 3rd, and then October 8th, we had our first review with Ms. Conley in our core PLCs. At that point, we had successfully knew how to get our kids logged in, how to get them through a diagnostic, so we decided we need to set a strategy to get these kids. Well, iReady says if you use the program to fidelity, which their fidelity is a minimum of 30 minutes a week, the kids with 70% of their lessons passed, we would see results within our math along with our core curriculum. So at our BOI, we just chose to get our kids used to 30 minutes a week. If we can get them on 30 minutes a week, that's a step that we're starting with. And each team did that. Weekly, we pulled the usage reports. We did mini PDs throughout, like what a rush flag means. How do you go about helping a kid when there's a rush flag? How do you reassign them if you see that they're not passing their lessons? And each week, the classroom with the highest percentage of usage were announced on our Morning Patriot News, and they got a little stuffed Upley to keep in their classroom for the week. So it was a little friendly competition on getting started out, like just 2 or 3, and then I actually had to reach out to the iReady rep and said, it's getting really competitive in here. I need some more Ups for the kids to keep in their class for the week. So that's how we started it out, and then we got our MOI diagnostic. We got our MOI diagnostic. As we were looking through it, you can see we had increased from an overall kids on grade level from 50 to 62, and we were also recognized, Parkview and in Charlotte, the North Carolina iReady Symposium recognized the school in each district that had the highest median growth, and we had it for our K-5 schools. So once we started digging into the data, we saw that we were really growing our kids that were 1 to 2 grade levels behind, which is a big celebration. So we wanted to continue that, but we were like, we have got to grow our own grade level kids and our above grade level kids. So what do we need to do? We are seeing growth from BOI to MOI, but we want to see more growth. So after that point, we met with the PLCs. We met with the PLCs, and that's just the slide showing where we pulled the report saying across the grade levels, K1 and 2 for us, you can see how we're growing our students that were 1 to 2, but our mid to medium were just kind of plateaued. So we're like, we've mastered the usage. We had another data meeting with Ms. Conley, and the teams realized that we need to have the students have a little bit more accountability. So now we're going to keep the usage, but we also want to make sure that they are passing a minimum of 2 lessons a week. So we put that in, and that was in the middle of January. Kids were really getting excited, but we still had some that the teachers, we just didn't have their buy-in. We didn't have the whole school's buy-in, and we're like, if this is gonna succeed, we need to have the buy-in of everybody. So from that point in January, Dr. Rogers and I were just kind of talking of like, how can we get this up a notch? Well, that's when we decided to do an iReady Math Madness Challenge, school-wide, K2. So what we did with that is we sat with the PLCs and just said, okay, we're seeing the growth. Everybody's getting their kids to pass 2 lessons a week. You're individually tracking that in the classroom. We are seeing the growth, but we still need more growth, and we don't feel, in PLCs, we were having discussions, especially with some of our kids that may have been struggling, that they were just not interested in it. It was just, they would get on it, they're not passing lessons. So Dr. Rogers and I talked, and we said, let's try to implement something school-wide to build a competition to get the buy-in from all teachers and all kids at that point.
Because they were using 10 frames in the classrooms. They have punch cards, they have sticker charts, they have graphs. So the kids were individually kind of keeping up with their lessons. But some kids that works, that was motivating some of them, but not all of them. So we were trying to figure out what else, what's the next step? How do we push it just a little bit further to motivate them? So, lock myself out here. Where's my notepad? Sorry, slight delay. Pause for my notepad. This is Snard. He's one of the other iReady characters. Snard has a basket of goodies. His handler's not helping. Give him some out of the basket. Please have a iReady token out of the basket there. Board members, you may select a little fun there. Sorry, Snard. So Snard would show up. Sorry, Snard. Yes, Snard is okay. But Snard actually showed up in our building and hung out for a little while, showed up in some classrooms, and that was very exciting, as some of our friends over there remember seeing Snard, and that was quite a surprise because Snard came out of the iPad, just like you Bupley over here. And so we were very excited to be able to have him come around and introduce the fun. So thank you so much, Snard.
Yeah. Calm down in there.
So Ms. Granger, along with our PLC activators, worked together and came up with some different rules and prizes and shared that out to all of our grade levels. I'm sorry. Snard was a little concerned about coming out here, which is why we hired a handler. Oh, gosh. So the teachers had to come up with their students come up, and they had to create names for their teams. There's jerseys. We have a whole bulletin board outside of our PLC room. And they actually had to go through, and the students had to learn what the rules of the game were for this competition. And we actually kicked off our Math Madness, just like March Madness. And so they actually went through. We had Monday announcements where we went through the competition, and each team, the teams were eliminated we are now down to our final 2. So even though the championship games were this weekend for the men's and ladies basketball championship teams, we are down to our last week this week, and the winners will be announced
next week. But that wasn't all. We also wanted to keep, even though the teams could be eliminated, we still wanted to have individual winners. So each grade level, the students could still compete. And so we had top winners in each grade level. And we weren't ready for the fact that there could be ties. We actually had students tying, and so we have lots of prizes. We have capes that the students win. They get their personalized certificates, and we actually, thank goodness, we have backup capes because they actually rotate, because we have capes with their winners on the back for each grade level. But when we have a tie, we also had to have the rotating cape so that they could wear them because they actually had ties in each grade level. So even though you may not win as a team, you could still win the individual and carry it for your represent your grade level. So that was very exciting and has been exciting for our kiddos.
And did you have a pool?
Didn't think to do that, but that may not be a good thing. But right here, you can see just some of the excitement that's been going on at Parkview as we've been going through our Math Madness. So as you can see, Snard coming through the building. These are the examples of the capes that the students have when they're representing their grade level as individual team winners. And they also get to pick a prize. Miss Marshall and I have lost our chair several times because who would have thought winning the principal chair would be a thing? But we literally, they come and they pick up our chair and they keep it for the entire day. Miss Marshall and I actually roll them out of the office and we roll them through the hallways. And that is the only time you get to run through the hallway in the principal chair. And it is so exciting, and they keep it in their classroom, and they stay in that chair all day. They sit at their desk in our chair. They sit at the carpet. They said, "We can sit at the carpet in your chair?" We're like, "Yes, you get to sit at the carpet in the principal's chair." And then they return it, of course, at the end of the day. They were really concerned about what we were going to sit in. And I said, "Buddy, don't even worry about that. We'll figure it out." So we've lost our chair. Sometimes both of us have lost our chair. We did this week. 2 second graders, one in Miss Long's class, and both of them chose our chair. So that was extremely exciting. They also can win the iReady prizes if they choose that, and they also can choose to go on the Patriot News. So it's been really neat to see what different kids choose as their individual prizes. So that's been exciting. We also have a Padlet that Miss Granger has put together as well, where the teachers can share ideas, things that what's motivating their classrooms, what's motivating their kids. Our teachers now want us to have something every single month starting at the beginning of the year. Just because our kids are so excited about wanting to pass their lessons. And kids that maybe were not doing as well, they're boosting each other up. They're encouraging each other. They have felt like, I'm a part of this team, and I want you to do well too. And so that's been really neat to see because they're believing in themselves and they believe in each other. And so just seeing that camaraderie building that way has been really neat to see. So that's been really fun as we've been watching our kids go through. Is this me too? Yep. Okay. So once we finish, we of course do our announcements, and our final winners next week the champions will have Pie in the Sky is actually going to come. They've donated a class pizza party, and they're also going to bring dough and teach the kids how to toss the dough. There'll be a class trophy. And they'll all get their individual medals as well. And of course, they've been collecting their classroom certificates, so all that will continue as well. And then we're going to continue because our growth diagnostic window will be opening, so we'll continue with the individual prizes as well, just to kind of keep that momentum going, and because we don't want them to lose that, because it is an individual thing, and we want them to continue to keep working and striving for those efforts. And believe it or not, I think we've been at the lowest is at 81%, and iReady says we need to have a minimum of 70% lessons passed. So our kids want to do well, and they're doing very well right now. So we're very excited for them, and it's just been overall very inspiring to see how much they're growing and wanting to grow individually. So here's a couple of quotes from some of the students. We may have been very excited when we put our presentation together and we had a really long video and you couldn't hear it because it was so much. So here are just a few quotes. I like iReady because I get coins and I get prizes when I pass the lessons. Also, I like iReady because I understand because it's in Spanish. I like the characters, I like math, I like passing my times, and I like doing my lessons. I like the challenges, the games, and everything, especially when I learn new things in math that I hadn't learned before. And every class gets to pick their own team name and get prizes. So, do you have any questions for us?
It sounds like it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. No,
I'm
I
already
don't. I don't have a
thinking
question.
October, you can do the World Series,
Yeah.
and, you know, yeah.
No, that's what I was gonna say. I don't have a question, but I just love how the relatability of, sports in general bring people together. And regardless of what background you come from, I think, this is a concept that kind of seen, everybody having fun and playing fair and being, of the same dynamic. And so that was huge. I think, you've started something that you're gonna have to continue to carry on now. And so not only will the students be looking forward to it, I'm a big basketball guy, so I know I'll be looking forward to this as well. So I love the way you put it together with the whole March Madness concept, and job well done.
Thank you.
And you could do a pool as a fundraiser.
I'm all about it. All about it. I don't know, we probably can't, but I'm not gonna tell anybody. Don't tell anybody.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Gardner, we're ready for staff reports. Oh, that's right. Our next meeting is on May 13th, right here, 6 o'clock. See you there.
All right, for our staff reports, we will start with the Maximize Opportunity and Achievement Report from Dr. Royal.
Good evening, Dr. Marsh, Dr. Gardner, members of the board. I do want to apologize in advance. The other members of the exec team were giving me a hard time for the length of my board report this evening. But it does fit the title. We're maximizing our opportunity and achievement within the district. Go ahead and start the clock. No, I'm just playing. First, I bring to you some athletic updates from the district. Our spring sports seasons are starting to wrap up at our middle schools this month. At our high school, we have our athletic teams that are competing well into May, hopefully the end of May. Just some highlights. Our Mooresville Middle School varsity volleyball team is currently undefeated. Our Mooresville Middle School boys and girls soccer teams only have one loss each this season. Selma Burke Middle School's JV volleyball team is undefeated. Selma Burke's baseball and their boys and girls soccer teams only have one loss each this season as well. At the high school, our varsity baseball team is currently tied for first place in the conference with a 5-1 conference record. Our high school girls soccer team is tied for second in the conference right now with a big game coming up against Lake Norman this Friday. And both our boys and girls track teams at the high school are competing well. They just both recently won the Timberwolf Invitational as well. One more highlight for athletics, the North Carolina High School Athletic Association recently adopted the new athletic conferences with the realignment in the state and the transition to 8 classifications instead of the traditional 4 classifications. Mooresville High School will be competing in the North Piedmont Conference from 2025 to 2029. The conference will consist of Mooresville High School, Lake Norman, Davie County, South Iredell, North Iredell, and Statesville. Mr. Bussell, the athletic director at the high school, is currently working on finalizing the fall athletic schedules for all of our teams, and then he'll shift his work to our winter athletic schedules. Some school updates. The Southwest Education Alliance board meeting was held at UNC Charlotte on March 21st. Dr. Wade, our director of secondary instruction, Ms. Conley, our director of elementary instruction, as well as Misha Lasky, our EMIS school librarian media coordinator, and Erica Ackerman, MHS instructional coach, presented on our district's gateway projects for grades 2, 5, 8, and 11. Attending that meeting were local superintendents in our region, as well as the newly elected state superintendent of public instruction, Mr. Mo Green. Mooresville Middle School Assistant Principal, Dr. Manilyn Browning, she recently presented at the MTSS Cross-Regional Secondary Networking Day in Wilkes County. Her session, entitled A Middle School's Journey Through MTSS, provided experiences and highlights from Mooresville Middle School's MTSS implementation journey. Our AIG Advisory Committee held its last meeting of the year at an in-person meeting on March 27th. Ms. Conley, Dr. Wade, Ms. Amy Smith, and Ms. Maureen Fitzsimmons did an outstanding job leading this committee this year as we've made revisions and updated our district's AIG plan for 2025 to 2028. We will be presenting this plan to you all for first read at next month's board meeting. Congratulations to the Mooresville Concert Band, Mooresville High School's concert band, on receiving the following ratings at the South Central District Music Performance Adjudication 2 weeks ago. That event was held at Mooresville High School. Mooresville's concert band, Superior, symphonic band, Superior, and the wind ensemble, Superior. And just a reminder to our folks, the rating of Superior is the highest possible score. As of last week, our kindergarten registration count is up to 257 students registered for the 25-26 school year. Last year, we did not hit 257 students registered until the end of April, so we're a bit ahead of schedule this year. Just a reminder to our families, they can find all the information needed to enroll their kindergartner for next year on the MGSD website. This week is Assistant Principal Appreciation Week. We truly appreciate all the hard work, energy, and dedication that all of our assistant principals put in each and every day for our students, staff, and community. Speaking of our APs, we held our 4th session of our Assistant Principal Leadership Academy yesterday. Trainings were led by Ms. Kuhn, Mr. Oral, Dr. Albert, Ms. Watts, and Dr. Bost. A few of the topics covered were the role of the LEA in IEP meetings, an infinite campus preview, and leadership development. The ACT was given to our Mooresville High School juniors back on March 25th, and the high school administered makeup testing today for the ACT. With the retesting that took place today, our participation at the high school is 98.6%. So great job by Ms. Graham and Ms. Allen and the high school staff to ensure that all of our juniors are participating in the ACT. Also like to recognize Mr. Oral, as well as Mooresville High School teacher Ms. Trahan helped lead the ACT, as well as our technology department. As you may have heard, there's been some glitches with the ACT being administered, and our technology department was all hands on deck to assist with that process. Our second annual multilingual K-12 family celebration will take place on the fields between Mooresville Intermediate School and Rocky River Elementary on Friday, April 25th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Our annual career fair is happening the morning of April 29th at Mooresville High School. We're excited to be able to provide the option for our students at Mooresville High School to meet with local businesses. And to answer your question, Ms. Pinnell, earlier, as well as some institutions will be there as well, so that our students can learn more about career and post-secondary opportunities. Lastly, we begin our EOGs, EOCs, CTE state assessments, and the end-of-year exams on Thursday, May 8th, which leaves us just 20 instructional days left in the academic year. As a former colleague used to say, we don't want to count the number of days left, we want to make the number of days left count. And again, that's for all of our students in all of our classrooms. So again, our schools are focused on finishing the year strong, and plans are in place to be sure that our students and teachers are ready for closing out the last days of the school year. And that does finally conclude my report for maximizing opportunity and achievement. Are there any questions?
Yeah, if there's a family that wants to register their child for kindergarten, where should they physically go? To the school that they're zoned for, or to the central office?
They go to the school that they're zoned for, and they can find all that information on the MGSD website.
Okay.
Yep, thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
All right, next up we have our Safe, Happy, and Healthy with Dr. Albert and Dr. Smith.
Good evening, Dr. Gardner, Dr. Marsh, members of the board. Last week, we hosted our annual Resource and Transition Fair at Mooresville Middle School, welcoming approximately 30 families and 25 vendors. Representatives from across our EC programs were also on hand to connect with families and students. A special shout out to Tracy Spears, who once again organized this outstanding event. And thank you to all of our EC staff who attended throughout the afternoon. In other exciting news, our STARS preschool program expanded this past school year with the addition of a 5th classroom for students with disabilities. With this growth and the evolving needs of our preschoolers, we are preparing our classrooms so that all of our students in the STARS program have full access to full-day services. While some of our students previously left around lunchtime, we want to encourage them to extend their school day to better prepare them for kindergarten. And finally, I want to remind everybody that this Thursday, over at Selma Burke Middle School at 5:30 p.m., Southern Family Medicine will host an informative and engaging session and discussing the dangers of vaping and its impact on teen health, academics, and the future.
And, sorry, Dr. Marsh, Dr. Gardner, members of the board, a couple of more comments from Safe, Happy, and Healthy. As part of our annual review process, we're currently evaluating our student code of conduct, as we do every year, and working with all our school administrators on ways that we can improve and any necessary updates for the upcoming school year. So that's an ongoing process to get ready for the new student code of conduct for next school year. And also, as I mentioned at last month, we have received the funding for the Safe Schools Grant from the state. So Mr. Reddick and I are currently in the process of obtaining quotes for our new radio system. We're going to put new walkie-talkies and repeaters in all of our schools. And we anticipate bringing something to the board next month for your formal approval process. So that's all that we have, unless there are any questions.
Any questions? No?
Good to go, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we will have Ms. Kuhn representing Recruit, Grow, and Retain.
Good evening, Dr. Marsh, Dr. Gardner, members of the Board of Education. This spring for Human Resources has been very busy, as we wasn't with you last month as we were recruiting, and we worked to bring some of the top recruits to our first Mooresville hiring event that we held late last week. We invited 14 teacher candidates to visit our school system. They toured our schools. I had an opportunity to interview with our principals on Friday, this past Friday morning. And through that, we were able to confirm 6 conditional offer agreements. And I would like to thank our school principals, our Mooresville graded School District Foundation for Public Education, and all those who helped put the event together. And a special thanks to my team, in particular, Ms. Rachel Bussell, who helped lead and get everything together for this great event as we endeavor to continue to recruit great talent to our school district. Also, in the next few weeks, HR will begin the process of the Teacher of the Year for Mooresville Graded School District selection process. So we will have our first meeting, our committee meeting this Friday, and we will begin our observations and prepare to select the Teacher of the Year for Mooresville Graded School District. All of our schools will be complete with selecting their school Teacher of the Year and beginning Teacher of the Year as well. Of course, we will announce the finalists for our school district's Teacher of the Year at the beginning of the 2025-2026 school year at convocation. We are also looking forward to, in the spring, we do a lot of celebrations. So we have our beginning teacher celebration this Thursday. And then looking forward, we will have a retiree celebration on May 8th. And so we are continuing to celebrate and lift up our great staff. And now I'll pause for any questions you may have for me.
Do we have a date for convocation?
I think it's August 1st, but excuse me, July 31st.
Okay.
I was wrong.
I think inviting those candidates
Yeah.
in what you did is a perfect recruitment tool. Are you planning to, or have you already sought some feedback from them, whether they were offered a contract or not? Just the process?
Certainly, we do have a survey that, if it hasn't gone out, one has been developed, I know. We wanted, and we, while they were here, certainly asked them some of their thoughts, but, and we also need input from our school leaders as well, on those who participated. But we had a lot of positive comments, but always looking to improve and make that something that we can continue to do to support our recruitment efforts.
No, I think it's a great idea, just because of the fact that, a lot of surrounding districts around us not, sometimes they're competitive in the pay, but it's always good to show the perks that we, have here with Mooresville Graded School District.
Yeah.
One thing that I would say also is, I've been hearing good talks about the MHS pet rallies. So maybe we should do one and have them come to a pep rally based on that, and then, you know, make that happen.
Okay.
I think Ms. Graham and her team can kind of sell some, you know, people coming to Mooresville as well. So hearing good things about the pep rally.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Any other questions, comments? Thank you.
All right, thank
Thank you,
you.
Ms. King. All right, next up is Ms. McLean with Culture of Relationships.
Good evening, Dr. Marsh, members of the board, and Dr. Gardner. We will be holding our last SHAC committee meeting tomorrow afternoon for this year. We've had a really productive year, and I appreciate everybody that's taken the time to come to our meetings. SHAC, along with our C&I department and several community partners, will be holding a safe, healthy, happy, and history in Liberty Park on May 1st, 2025. This will take place from 4:30 to 6:30. We know it's a busy evening with events in our district. It's that time of year. This is a free event. There will be games, activities, and resources with food, and a history walk around downtown Mooresville where Ms. Smith, with our curriculum instruction, Amy Smith, has planned some different areas where people will go with a smartphone. She'll have QR codes, so bring your smartphone for the group, and they'll learn history in Mooresville. Last Friday, I had the honor of attending Belmont Abbey College's dance showcase, where our own Miss Carly Thompson was awarded the Teacher of the Year in Dance Education Award. This award includes $1,000 for Ms. Thompson to use toward our dance program at the two middle schools, and we appreciate her work. We were able to see some of the comments that through the nomination process students and parents sent in, and it was just, it spoke volumes to the authentic cultural relationship she's building in that program, so it was fun to watch. And that is all I have. Are there any questions?
What was the date again on the downtown history tour again?
May 1st.
Okay.
What were the times?
I'm sorry?
The times?
4:30 to 6:30.
And that was a great event
was.
last year.
Definitely.
And they really had some good vendors, some great ideas, lots of good gifts. I came home with a free locked drug box.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, for all my drugs.
And all of those partners will be here again.
When you have little ones in the house, you know, that was,
And we have some new ones, so we're excited about that. Iredell County Health will be there, and they'll have the goggles so people can see what it's like to drive under the influence. And
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Good. That's good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
All right, good evening, board members. Over the past several months, we've had the opportunity to collaborate with House Representative Carver and Senator Sawyer to discuss the priorities of public education in Mooresville Graded. This includes a visit by Representative Carver just yesterday to see the great things happening in career technical education at Mooresville High School. We appreciate that ongoing collaboration with both of our state representatives in support of our school district. We anticipate the North Carolina Senate will release their initial budget sometime in the next 2 weeks. We hope that this initial budget prioritizes public education and in particular teacher compensation. 2 weeks ago at an event hosted by the EDC at Mitchell Community College, it was shared that a livable wage for a single adult with no children in Iredell County is $48,939. It presently takes 10 years for a teacher to reach this salary on our schedule in North Carolina. We have to do better for our teachers, and I encourage all supporters of public education to demand the same in the coming months. Thank you. This concludes my comments.
And just to piggyback on that, if you're talking to our legislators, it's not just salary where they need to step their game up. You have to make sure that they're not robbing Peter to pay Paul by charging more for insurance or taking away retirement benefits. So, you know, in North Carolina, that's a part of the benefit package. And, you know, even if they raise salaries some, if they're taking it from other benefits, teachers are still losing. And what Dr. Gardner just quoted, that's just a livable wage. You know, you're not going out to eat very often on that kind of a salary. So, okay, I'll get off my bandwagon where that's concerned. Some upcoming events for the board and others. Some were mentioned this evening. The board will continue with some school visits. We're scheduled to see Parkview and I think it's just Parkview this month. Our intermediate schools will be doing their gateways, and that will be another wonderful thing to visit. In addition, something that is not on the list that you received, the Mooresville High School PTSO is having a car wash this Saturday from 11 to 1 at Finish Car Wash, which is on Broad Street as you're headed toward Bucko's, right before you turn to Bucko's, not the brand new one, this is the other one, and they will get a percentage of the sales. You still go through as you normally would, but that's helping to fund the senior celebration that they do at the end of the year, which is a really good event too. So, thank you. And it looks like we don't have any one
Correct.
for public comment.
No public comment.
So items for approval.
All right, our first item for approval is supplemental funds for teacher compensation with Mr. Smith.
Good evening, Dr. Garner, Dr. Marsh, members of the board. I bring before you a supplemental approval plan for instructional teachers. It's a supplement provided by the Appropriations Act of 2021. It is for a supplement for teachers and instructional support personnel for Mooresville Graded School District. The allotment is $533,442. The maximum per teacher is allowed by the plan is $977. We propose to provide that maximum amount of $977. And we've traditionally paid the maximum amount each year. And so that's something too that we would want to continue. The payment will be done or be processed, if approved, in the June paycheck based on the number of active eligible employees. I recommend for your approval.
Okay, members of the board, you heard the recommendation that we compensate our teachers and qualifying staff members with the supplemental funds for teacher compensation. Are there any questions or comments? Then I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So move, I approve that we approve the supplemental teacher compensation as read by Dr. Smith.
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir. All right, next up, we have Dr. Smith and Ms. Birchfield with a school nutrition purchase.
Dr. Gardner, Dr. Marsh, members of the board, Ms. Birchfield and I bring to you tonight a request from the school nutrition department in collaboration with Mooresville High School. Ms. Birchfield and Ms. Graham and I have been working on this project, but we're requesting approval to purchase new cafeteria furniture from Mooresville High. The purchase will include updated tables, booths, and other things in the cafeteria to specifically accommodate high school students. The furniture that's there is quite old and broken in a lot of places. So we did solicit formal requests for proposals. We did receive 4 competitive submissions. And through a comprehensive evaluation and scoring rubric, we have chosen New Idea as the most responsive and responsible bidder. This is also the same company that put in the new furniture at Selma Burke. The total cost of the project, including shipping, installation, and applicable taxes, will not exceed $293,596.52. And this expenditure will be funded through school nutrition funds in accordance with their state mandated spend down plan. If you have any questions, Ms. Birchfield and I can address those. Otherwise, we are seeking approval for this purchase.
A lot of history there.
Yeah, I think,
History there.
I think the ones they have now were in,
When were they
I think
redone?
Jordan was in school when they,
Yeah, I know I was there.
it's been a while.
I was
Yeah.
there too, I think. Yeah.
Well, and Miss Graham will tell you they
Yeah,
don't
Ms. Graham,
accommodate,
a
they
lot of
don't
history.
accommodate high school students very well.
They gotta get over
And I'm assuming from the pictures that there's a variety of different seating arrangements
no.
here, which I like as well.
Yeah, a lot of welcoming
Yeah.
opportunities.
Yeah, everything is on wheels,
Yeah.
and moves. You can fold it up and move it.
Even the booths.
Even the booths.
Yep.
No, that's good. That's
Yep.
good.
If you've been in Selma Burke's cafeteria, it's very similar type of furniture. It's just the seats are a little bigger.
Okay, so there has been a recommendation that we approve the expenditure to purchase school nutrition, from the school nutrition funds for the purchase of new cafeteria furniture. Are there any other questions, comments? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you
Go
both.
forth and purchase.
Let the big kids sit.
All right, next up, we have a field trip that will be presented by Dr. Royal.
Good evening again, Dr. Marsh, Dr. Gardner, members of the board. Tonight, I have a field trip that we're bringing to you for your approval. As you know, the field trips that come to the board are trips that are overnight as well as out of state. And this meets both those requirements, as this is a trip for spring break of 2027. I did say that correctly, 2027. It is an international trip, and like we've done in the past, we want to bring these trips to you early enough to allow time for our families to do some fundraising with the school as well as within their family. So I'll give you a description. We also have Ms. Agar here from the high school who is coordinating this trip as she's done numerous trips. I was just on one with her this past spring break as we went to Italy and Switzerland. Okay, so for the spring break of 2027, Mooresville High School is requesting permission to travel to Austria, Germany, and Switzerland during the 2027 spring break. This trip will involve an estimated maximum of 80 students with an estimated cost of $4,189 per student. Ms. Agar, Mooresville High School English teacher, is organizing this opportunity and will attend as a chaperone. EF, Educational Tours, will facilitate this opportunity. We've worked with that organization multiple times. With a proposed 10-day trip itinerary that includes stops in Vienna, Salzburg, Munich, the Tyrol region, Liechtenstein, the Lucerne region, and Heidelberg. These locations offer direct connections to various academic standards and align with our commitment to developing academic and durable skills. Additional chaperones will be utilized to maintain our 1-to-7 teacher-to-student ratio. There will be several fundraising opportunities available for students. Included for your review are the following documents in your packet: a letter from Ms. Agar, MGSD field trip request form, educational merit and standards aligned document, Mooresville High School Travel Club traveler eligibility, conduct, and safety agreement, Mooresville High School International Travel Permission and Release Form, and finally, the Educational Tour EF Global Travel Program Proposal documents. We'll entertain any questions. Again, Ms. Agar is in the audience as well, and we would bring this to you to approve the field trip as outlined and presented.
Any questions or comments? I've traveled with Ms. Agar and with EF on 3 different tours, and both do a great job. So I have every confidence in that, and I love that we provide these opportunities. You know that not everyone can take part in that, but when we're planning in advance, hopefully, for people that might need a little help, they can, be planning and budgeting and fundraising to make that happen, because those are great trips.
Absolutely.
Since you guys created all the stir with your recent social media documentation of the fantastic trip, when will you be advising parents and students of the opportunity?
Ms. Agar, you want to answer that? Any other questions?
All right, then, I will entertain a motion to approve the trip for spring break of 2027 to Austria, Germany, and Switzerland. 80 students will be able to go at a cost of $4,189. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Okay, motion carries. Start planning. Get
Thank
it
you.
ready to send out. And I love that y'all post pictures and people can follow the trip. So if any other parents out there are interested, you just go check out the pictures from this last trip.
All right, our next item is the 2025 Readministration Plan Revision. So I'm going to start this off, and then I'm going to pass it off to Mr. Orrell. So this might look familiar to you because we brought a plan to you in February, and then you approved it in March for readministration of the end-of-grade, end-of-course exams. Directly after your approval, we were notified by NCDPI that there were some additional opportunities that would be granted. This is something that used to be done pre-pandemic, but was not recently available, and that is the opportunity to do retesting before the last academic school day of the year. So prior to this revision, we had to wait until outside of our calendar, conduct a summer school, provide remediation, and then offer it then. We believe that this opportunity, while it was granted to us late in the year and has caused us to pivot and plan, that's what we do in public education, it provides greater ease for our families. The students are at school, so they don't have to worry about changing summer schedules, trying to make sure that they can get them to and from school. Those logistics, it will certainly increase the number of our students that can participate. Last summer, we averaged anywhere from 9 to upper 20% of students eligible taking the retest. Obviously, we feel like those numbers will go up dramatically because we have the students in school with us. It does help us with not having an instructional gap. We noticed the further our summer program went, the less successful our students were in retesting because they had a solid gap in there between initial learning. This will be conducted at the home schools, obviously. So there is some lack of familiarity that had been expressed to us from parents and students when they had to go to a summer school opportunity that was not their child's home school. They also have the familiar teachers as well. And we look at this as a positive, and we're really going to continue to reinforce that. Testing is a one-day-at-a-time event, and we believe that everybody can have a bad day, and this just gives our students another opportunity to show what they know. As a reminder, the state grading system is 80% proficiency, 20% growth. The first score, the initial test score, is the only thing that counts for growth. So even if the student does better, that does not count for that 20% growth. I cannot answer why, that's a decision at the state level, but the higher of the two scores counts for proficiency. So it certainly will help in that majority of the school report card grade. And with that, I will have Mr. Orrell share some logistics.
All right. Good evening, Dr. Marsh, Dr. Gardner, members of the board. This decision was not made lightly to change our schedule so late in the year, but there are a few things that I want you to know that we did consider when we tried to revise our schedule. First of all, they did not change the window of testing. All state assessments for grades 3 through 8 need to be done in the last 10 days of the calendar year. So a few things that we considered when we revised this was we wanted to administer the initial assessments as early in the window as possible in an effort to maximize the amount of time that we had for remediation between the initial assessments and the re-administrations. Finally, we wanted to avoid testing in the last 3 days of the year where events such as field day and awards programs, and combined with the fact that our last day is a half day, we wanted to stay away from that as much as possible. Having said that, there may be a situation or two where testing does need to happen there, especially if a student has missed the initial assessments. So if we look at the 3rd through 5th grade, our initial assessments now, our proposed schedule is they would be done on the 8th, 9th, and 12th of May, leaving Monday, the 12th, 13th, and 14th for remediation. Our Re-administration for the reading test, grades 4 and 5 would be that Thursday, May 15th. We will also be doing our third grade Read to Achieve test that day as well. And also our re-administration for the math test would be on that following Friday, the 15th. The 6 to 8 schedule is a little more compact due to some field trips that have already been scheduled. But like third grade through fifth grade, we will be doing our initial testing on that Thursday, the 8th, Friday, the 9th, Monday, the 12th, leaving Monday and Tuesday for remediation opportunities. The math re-administration would be on Thursday, May 14th, with math Wednesday, the 14th, reading Thursday, the 15th, due to the field trips. It's also important to note that science will not have the opportunity for re-administration due to the new test and the new standards and the renorming. So during the remediation time, we want you to fully understand that this is not punitive for our students who did not demonstrate proficiency. They will not be missing any of the fun activities. All students will be engaged in learning during those times, whether it's preparing for next year or remediation of current standards for the re-administration. And finally, it's important to note that the memo that was sent on April 2nd made it very clear that participation is voluntary, and the parents or the families or the adults at home will have the final say on whether their students participate in the re-administration. Right now, when that notification goes home, it is encouraged that the parent or the adult at home will just send a message to the child's teacher through Parent Square, simply stating, I do not want my child to participate in the re-administration, and that will be honored, as well as any other form of communication. Do you have any questions about our re-administration plan?
Yeah, I do. So that communication in Parent Square, our teachers do a great job, but it is the end of the school year. There are a lot of messages flying in about field trips and parties and whatnot and so ever. Is there a more formal way that we can have, I'm worried about it slipping through the cracks.
Right.
Our teachers are busy, really, really busy.
Yes, we are too. So that's a conversation that Dr. Royal and I had. So they can contact the principal via phone, whatever method they choose to make sure that someone in the adult knows that they do not want their child to take part in the re-administration is something that we will honor.
Are you asking?
I'm just saying that a third grade child's, like you said, some things, there might be an opportunity where there might be an activity going on, and that kid is going to be subject to retesting, and there may be water day, for example, and their parent might have tried to give a message to the teacher that they didn't want to have them retested. Their student's going to miss the opportunity to go to water day. The parent's going to be upset. I just want to make sure there's a clear way for a parent to communicate with the school, the staff, the teacher, that they do not want to participate in retesting, if they want to opt out. I just don't want it overlooked and missed.
Understood.
Right, and that's the last thing we want to do as well, but we're also trying to avoid those events to make sure that
I know, but younger kids can't advocate for themselves
Right.
that well, and so if the parent had meant for their child not to be subjected to the retesting, then.
Well, one of the things that we'll have our schools do is all communication is going to go out Monday. So we will be blasting that. Expect notification whether your child passed or didn't pass that Monday. No matter what, you're going to get communication. We're trying to over-communicate that. We're actually going to send a letter out probably the end of this week saying, we're going to go ahead and tee that up and say, here's the dates, here's the way the communication's going to work, and we'll continue to reinforce that. But everyone will get notification that Monday. I believe we're going to use a mail merge system similar to what we do for like our NC check-in results to make sure everybody gets that. And then that was one of the reasons why we wanted to have a little bit of time there in between as well. That way, we've got time for parents to think through that and make a decision on what they want to do.
Is that Monday, the 12th you're talking about?
Yeah.
Is it?
I'm just glad to see that it doesn't, it's not impacting the fun activities. You know, that's the biggest thing that I can look at. You know, we still have to look at, I get it that, you know, testing is important, the achievement is important, but we still got to understand, so is that fun activity that they worked hard for all year. So I'm just glad to see that the actual plan is not, you know, harming them from getting those fun activities.
And we've been guaranteed that, right?
We did try to avoid those last 3 days of the school year.
Probably the only
Which is
exception to
what
that would be like if somebody's out with the
Please.
flu for 6 or 7 days,
Yeah.
we have an obligation to test every kid the last
Yes.
10 days. That would be the only exception.
That's understandable. I just, that's with the way we are with recreation and just having fun and things of that nature, please don't take their fun activities away from them.
Well, no one loves fun more than me.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do that. So- Okay, if there are no further questions, I would request approval of our revised readministration plan.
Okay, we have a request to approve the 2025 grades 3 through 8 EOG readministration plan as revised. We'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, before I do this next part, I want to thank Commissioner Carricker for coming to our meeting this evening. So under General Statute 143-318.11, Sections A1, A3, and A6, the board will now go into closed session to consider personnel and consult with the board attorney. I will entertain a motion to go into closed session.
So move.
And a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you for coming, folks. We'll entertain a motion to approve the personnel list as presented.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion passes. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is